Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the sound system demo of the 2021 Hyundai Veloster N with its 7-speaker Infinity audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at Apple Carplay and Android Auto on the system, look at audio inputs, speaker locations, listen to some sample tracks on the road. I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Before we get started, let's hop out, take a quick look at the car. This is the hottest of the Hyundai hot hatches, the Veloster N. It's an excellent little car, if a little bit quirky, but now offered with an automatic transmission. It's that much more recommendable. So if you want to see more on the car, hit the links in the description for our full review as well as our highway fuel economy test, where this little Veloster did quite well. We always do these tests with uncompressed lossless WAV audio files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system and high-quality binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo available on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. The Veloster N with this new infotainment display for 2021, honestly not too many improvements that I've noticed from the old system. I didn't really think the old system was bad, but this one works. You've got treble, mid-range, and bass for sound adjustments, as well as your standard front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance. So let's go through those now. So a decent amount of bandwidth on all of those. We also have a few different adjustments for noise controls and guidance volumes, things like that. Speed-dependent volume control is in there. For audio inputs, you have your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth, USB-A with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support, and that is it. So what are you missing? Well, you don't have a USB-C port, you don't have a 3.5mm auxiliary input jack, and you also don't have a disc player. Now, it would be nice to see USB-C here for a 2021 model, but other than that, we're not too surprised to be lacking the other things. For audio controls, you have a nice volume knob right here. It's decently symmetrical with the tuner knob on that side. Easy to grab, easy to turn. You also have a volume rocker on the left side of the steering wheel. For track selection, you have 2 physical buttons here, a knob here, touch buttons there if you're in the media screen, and a little rocker switch right next to the volume control, which I think is nifty that they're both on the same side. Speaker locations. As I said, this is a 7-speaker system tuned by Infinity. It's 350 maximum watts coming from the amplifier. Speakers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a subwoofer in the trunk. Subwoofer puts out a decent amount of power. I do like that it's trunk mounted, but overall just 7 speakers working around the cabin. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay demos. Well, there's only one USB port for data in the Veloster N, so we do have to unplug our USB, plug in with Apple CarPlay running, blah, 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 click through that, yes, yes, yes. We got CarPlay on the phone, and there's a little indicator. There you go, pops right up, easy to pair. That phone has never been paired with this system. You've got your music, maps, settings screen, everything's very responsive, resolution is fine. And that's that. Android Auto. Now this device has been paired with Bluetooth with this car, but not with Android Auto. Let's plug this in. There we go. Pops right up as well. You have your Android Auto display. It's weird that kind of cut off on both sides. Android Auto resolution always seems to be kind of weird. Other than that, works pretty well. You've got your maps, as you see, your YouTube music, and settings screen. All right, let's get the tunes back on, get on the road. Music dips out just for a quick second when you start it. here real quick, let you hear a little Veloster N take off. Woo! That exhaust is a whole lot of fun. This next song can really test the limits of an audio system, putting a lot of different instruments through, a lot of loud sounds, really showcases how the system is able to produce a lot of noise. Let's see how the Veloster N handles it. So definitely not anything outstanding, but I'm at least satisfied that there's no harshness. You can listen at a pretty loud volume and those instruments aren't coming through and hurting my ears. It's still decently well balanced, if not exactly crisp. One thing I do kind of appreciate is that subwoofer comes through for some really hearty hits. You know, this is not the most powerful system that we've tested recently or at all or ever by any means, but they did allow that subwoofer to come through pretty strong. I will say it's almost a little bit too strong in most listening situations, but it doesn't sound overpowering like some Bose systems. Speaking of the subwoofer though, for this next track we will turn the bass all the way up, see what it sounds like. So I don't think this is going to come through super well on the microphone, but there's a lot of thump. I'm getting mirror shakage both inside and out. I can feel it in my seat. The downside is they put too much bass through the door speakers. If they would let the subwoofer do most of the work and take some of the bass out of these speakers in the doors and allow these door speakers to do more mid-range stuff, then it would sound better. Instead, I'm getting this nasty thump and vibration sound from up here, and the subwoofer from the back is kind of getting diluted. So the reason I know you can fix that is if you go down and move the balance back about 5 or so. Now it's a cleaner bass sound. I mean, the song's kind of dipping out, but it does sound a little better. And I've noticed that with other music too, not just bass sort of music. So as you can see, the Veloster is a bit loud at highway speeds, but not really too awful for a performance, budgety, hot hatchy sort of vehicle. using the phrase average because it's not exactly average, but it's mid-range in terms of rating. I think objectively speaking, this would be about a 5 based purely on audio quality. That's a little bit hampered by the amount of cabin noise that you have here on the highway Veloster. I will say the system's helped out by having a good-to-use touchscreen, Android Auto, Apple Carplay, decent amount of inputs, and being well priced. So subjectively speaking, I'm bumping this up to about a 7 for this class because none of its competitors sound good either. The WRX, the Civic Type R, all those cars. The only car that might sound better is the GTI, actually. That one's a little bit more solid, that fender system. But the mixing is not really great. When I was listening to this, I had the bass down, I had the balance a little bit in the rear, there. The bass down to, this system's actually kind of hard to use. Mid-range down to as well. That just made for a little bit better balanced sound. But overall, I think for this type of vehicle, Hyundai did what they could. They made it sound decent on a budget. It's not exactly an audiophile system, but it's passable. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the Veloster N, check the links in the description for our full review and our highway fuel economy test. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.